I'm lost. What do we?
Oh, we're live now. That's all.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but no, I had a media center. I've had a media center for a long time, and it was
Oh,
just a media center PC. That's all it was. It had videos on it. That's
I
the
thought
only thing it ever had on it was
I
videos.
thought you said I had a meaty center. I was like, what?
Yes,
You
yes.
have a meaty center? Okay. I mean,
I have a media center. No,
got a good core. Okay, I
right.
appreciate it. Cool.
I it was just videos. That's all it was. It was my it had my tokusatsu videos that I from Japan that I downloaded. It had the kids' movies that we imported into the computer and everything, so they didn't have to find the DVDs anymore. And it just had a bunch of videos on it. Well, I decided I wanted to start trying to play games on it, and it wasn't a the video card was not adequate for gaming, and it was a TV tuner card, and it was intended to be a media center, not a gaming rig. And so I was looking at upgrading the video card for a gaming rig, and my dad decided that because James was starting to get more into games, and Dad had a lot of stuff on his Steam account and everything, he bought a computer for the kids to use at their house, but then he decided it wasn't going to get much use at their house. Why don't send it here? And so I have this gaming rig. It's a low end gaming rig, but it's still a decent gaming rig that I instead of setting it up for the kids, which will never get used, I replaced the media center in the living room, and that's our media center PC now. It's a
Hmm.
game. It's the gaming PC that's hooked up to the big TV and everything. So I moved the media center to Lil's room, and the stuff that was on that hard drive was just transferred off of that old computer onto the new computer. And I used that hard drive to do it. So all of that stuff is actually probably still on that other media center. And if it's not, I can just download it again. There's nothing that would have been on that hard drive that would be irreplaceable. But I appreciate your concern for it and not wanting to reformat my hard drive without asking. I do really appreciate that because I would have been pissed.
Oh no, I
Um,
won't. I wouldn't. No, there
yeah,
was no
no,
way I was gonna.
I would have been very pissed off if you were like, "Oh, by the way, I had to reformat this so I could back up my PlayStation." I would have been like, "Oh, you mean my PlayStation now? Thanks." Um,
No, because like I was like I didn't know what I had to actually Google how to reformat it because
right.
I've never had to reformat an external hard drive, and I was like, yeah, erasing everything. It is really good that I talked to Chris about doing this before I was like, hey, let me just go ahead and try this. Although
Right.
when I got to the point where it said erase, I would have been like, no,
Yeah.
I'm not.
No, I'm like I said, most of the stuff on there I already have a redundant backup of anyway, and anything else that it turns up missing, I can probably just download it again because almost everything on that hard drive was downloaded in the first place. So we're good. I appreciate it though. It should be
Cool.
fine. So yeah. Hey, Mikey.
Hola.
I was. We'll have to be diplomatic about the way we say this. I was telling them about the choice of lunch the other day, and the stereotypically ethnic lunch that we offered at work.
Oh, yeah.
Fried chicken
And it
and
was
watermelon.
delicious too, man. I enjoyed it. I ain't gonna lie.
There's a reason they think it's awesome. Okay, because it is.
No, it is.
Yeah,
It
it's
absolutely is.
No,
legit.
I mean the combination is perfect. I don't know who came up with it, but
You know what I still need to try though?
Chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles.
And it's
Yeah.
amazing too.
Mikey
Roscoe
read my
nailed
mind.
that shit. They have it at IHOP.
Come
Yeah, but
on.
that's IHOP chicken and waffles. That's white people chicken and waffles.
Yeah, come on. That's
Well,
not
okay,
that's like saying they've got steak at Chili's.
okay, but do you think any of you guys would survive in a legitimate chicken and waffles place?
Oh
Yeah,
no, not at all.
I mean, yeah, they
Though
they
I
they'd get you.
just
no,
as
I
long
will
as you act
say
like you're supposed to be there. Nah, it's no
Mm.
problem.
no. I have been to a Black Revival though.
Mm-hmm.
and that was probably the most fun I've ever had at church.
I went to a Pentecostal church once.
This was
Oh, that's just scary.
This is like 10 years ago. I was going to that boxing gym in Sulphur Springs that was run by a preacher, and um,
So
they had,
was his son your trainer?
do what?
Was his son your trainer?
I don't get that reference.
The only boy
Because-
that could ever teach me was the son of a preacher man.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
So I thought he was going with that one.
Oh, sorry.
It's just
Wow.
one of the best songs in the history of music, but whatever, you know.
My bad. And like there were Bible verses on poster boards hung up all over the boxing gym and everything, and so
he was wailing on the bag like, I came not to bring peace but a sword.
right, exactly. Yeah. And so he was hosting a revival, and he invited everybody to come out there. And so I drove out into the middle of nowhere to this church and everything, and I was one of 3 white people there. And he refers to the boxing gym as a ministry. That's his boxing ministry.
Mm.
And he made all of the people from his boxing ministry stand up because he was happy that we were there. And of course, it was the only 3 white people in the room. And so,
well, we have to learn to fight so you don't rob us.
right? And
It's your fault this country's in bad shape, and you should all be ashamed.
Oh.
they were dressed to the nines. I mean, they were all wearing like Deion Sanders knee-length coats, and the women had the big hats, and
Shined up black Cadillacs and
it
stuff
was
like
it was so great. And I mean, they were getting into it, and somebody had a tambourine, and
that. Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, it was seriously the most fun I've ever had at church. And
You're pretty
The
sure
only-
you felt the spirit that day?
I did. The only awkward part for me was they don't pass the offering plate. They make you get up and go to the offering plate. So everybody knows if you don't get up and go put something in there.
Oh.
And I was like, I'm keeping my white ass right here. I'm sorry, I am. I don't got any money. I didn't bring any money with me for this, and I'm just gonna sit here at the back of this church so I can make a hasty retreat. And at the end, he was like, I want to thank everybody for coming. Don't run off because the ladies have prepared some refreshments in the foyer. I was like, the only thing that would make this day better is if it's soul food. And I will be damned if it was not chicken wings, watermelon, and grape Kool-Aid.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Oh, God.
It was chicken wings
They have
and
some
watermelon. And I mean, it was soul food, and I was like, "This is the best day. My day is not going to get any better than this."
There is a God. That proved it right there.
Yeah.
Now, my
3 days-
story is, sorry. Go ahead.
Here's the footnote to that story. That was on a Thursday night or a Friday night. The following Tuesday or Wednesday, Dawn and I split up. I was like, well, that's it. I just peaked. Soul Food Revival is as best as my life is going to get at this point, apparently. So, yeah. It was an interesting juxtaposition, I won't lie.
Well, we couldn't have anybody in the family that associated with that story.
That's true. I did it to I brought it on myself.
You,
I
you
really
did. You really you called down the thunder, and that's what happens. Anybody see the Battlefield 1 trailer?
No.
Battlefield 1?
Yeah. They
No.
it looks legit. Like, I was nervous at first when the rumors first came out. They're taking it to World War One. Like,
Yeah. You sent me that. I didn't watch it. I didn't actually get a chance to watch it.
is nuts. Like, they're saying they're going to have a wider range of vehicles than they've ever had throughout the course of the series. Like, everything from biplanes to old school tanks to horseback.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The trailer is really cool. It's got a pretty badass dubstep remake of Seven Nation Army by White Stripes playing in the background.
Nice.
And
And
yeah,
if there was ever a song that I could see having a dubstep remake,
yeah,
it would be Seven Nation
Yeah.
Army.
yeah.
That works.
But yeah, the trailer's like a minute and a half long, but it is really, really cool. And it's in-engine footage. Now, obviously, it's not going to look that pretty on console, but it is
Not
engine
gonna help.
footage, so it's pretty hopeful.
What about that new Call of Duty trailer?
Ugh, God,
The most downvoted gaming-related video in YouTube history.
it is ridiculous. I'm glad to see Chappie found work after his movie flopped. Um, but
Which Chappie?
it
Lou Gossett
is.
Jr. from Iron Eagle.
Ah,
Yeah,
see, I
but
didn't keep up. I didn't keep up with the Iron Eagle movies, so sorry.
no, Chappie was that robot movie from last year from the guy that made District 9.
Yeah, no, but see, that's what I was wondering is if you were talking about what's his name, Sharlto Copley, or
No.
someone else.
When I hear
That's the Chappie I was thinking.
When I hear Chappie, I
Sharlto
just
Copley
think...
was the voice of Chappie.
Okay. When I hear Chappie, I just think Lou Gossett Jr. from Iron Eagle.
Yeah. God, those movies were so bad.
The first one was amazing. You shut your face.
I couldn't get over those massive moles he has on his face.
God,
though.
that first Iron Eagle 1 was like that movie. I will watch the hell out of that movie.
Where he
I-
goes
I-
to save
I
his
haven't
dad
seen
in
That's right.
Iraq.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with super racist Middle Easterns. Because you could do that back then.
Oh yeah. You could totally get away with it back then.
Yeah.
Well, remember True Lies, where the mummy was the bad guy? Not the mummy.
No, the mummy
Somebody
wasn't
else.
that guy.
No, it was a guy from a James Bond movie who had helped Bond. Then he got pissed off at America and decided to blow it up.
I remember the Jamie Lee Curtis dance, and
Mm.
that movie also introduced us to
Elijah Dushku.
Elijah Dushku.
Yeah. Who should have really changed her name on day one.
Right.
And Tia Carrera. Well, no, it just reintroduced us.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
Tia
it.
Carrera.
Mm.
It introduced us to a role that wasn't Wayne's World.
Right. Right. That was a good movie.
Pretty harsh and crucial taunt though.
She was. She was.
How did we get to Iron? Oh yeah.
Chappie.
Trailers.
Yeah. The God, that it looks just god awful. I mean, if they wanted to go a little bit in the future, like they did with, I guess, Future Warfare or whatever, that's fine. But I mean, to go full on,
They're in space.
yeah,
Why?
they went full sci-fi with it, and it's like, what the frick are you doing? There's already space shooters out there. I mean,
No, I loved the reply of the owner of Activision, or not the owner, but the CEO or whatever.
oh yeah, like the operations officer and stuff.
Yeah, you've got to
Yeah.
love the passion of the gamers, and
Mhm.
like if you look at
Yeah.
what he's actually saying, it's like we don't care that you don't like it because you're still going to spend the money on it. So
Yeah,
shut
and
the hell up.
and he's
They're going
not
to be
wrong.
lined up at GameStop to buy it.
And he's not wrong.
Nope.
And a lot of people, if you go through the comments on YouTube and Reddit and stuff, a lot of the people are saying this is the biggest piece of crap idea I've ever seen. I've already pre-ordered. I mean,
Just to be a part of it, yeah.
yeah, it's in that, and it may shock us. It may be one of those sleeper games where your expectations are so low that when you start playing it, you're like, "This is an amazing game."
Right.
I mean, that may be what happens. I don't think so.
It may come back around and be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so. Then you got the Assassin's Creed film trailer that dropped today.
Okay. I just watched it. Like, before we started recording, I was like, I need to watch this so we can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am familiar with Assassin's Creed.
Hmm.
I have started Assassin's Creed 1
Oh gosh.
and
Competitive.
barely
It gets very
got
boring.
through the beginning of it and was like, yeah, I'm just not into this, and then never revisited it.
Jump to 2 then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
jump to 2. 1
So
sucks.
I can't really speak on the actual translation from game to film, but it just looks like Michael Fassbender doing a lot of parkour.
Yeah.
Parkour.
Honestly,
Parkour.
the commercial for the movie looked like a commercial for an Assassin's Creed game because they went very stylistic with it, very artistic kind of look to it.
Uh-huh.
And since the commercials for the games are so pretty anyway, I mean, they're cinema quality. It looks like an Assassin's Creed video game commercial. The the problem that I have with it is, like I said in that text to you earlier, is it's such a huge and intricate story. It needs to be a series on Netflix or HBO or something like that. It doesn't need to be crammed
Into one film.
into
Yeah.
a movie. It's not gonna work. Like, again, I may just be jaded from years of disappointing video game movies.
Well, there's
But
Ratchet and Clank. We
but
need to
yeah,
give that one a chance.
yeah. But I really don't see how you can take such a gigantic story and crush it into one movie. Personally.
I would hope that they didn't. Like I could understand taking like one game and going forward from there, but I wouldn't. But yeah, Chris, I'll send you Assassin's Creed through Kid Mail tomorrow. Assassin's Creed 2 through Kid Mail.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because the first game is the problem with the first game, and BJ, correct me if I'm wrong, is that it's pretty much you do the same thing over and over again. It just gets a little bit harder to do that same thing over and over again.
Yeah. You got to remember the first one, the the game, the first Assassin's Creed game wasn't supposed to happen. It was like they built the cities and they built the mechanics and everything as a Prince of Persia game that got canceled. So they were like, God, we've already spent millions of dollars. What can we do? Well, I've got this idea. So they just kind of took this new idea and put it on top of a Prince of Persia game that already existed. So they didn't really have a lot of production time to make it into something amazing.
But the
so
second one,
that's
was
essentially what
awesome.
it is. Oh, the second one was
I think that
a flawless game.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, the second one is probably the best in the series. Now I haven't played past I haven't even really started the third one, but
Yeah, well, I mean, the second one was so well done. It was a real labor of love and stuff like that. Like the graphics, here we are, what, 7 years later, the graphics still look good. I mean, it's still a good-looking game, still plays well.
the only thing I would say about the second one, the only problem with it was that it wasn't until like real late in the game that I realized that Ezio was supposedly aging throughout this entire process. Like
Yeah.
that this was going that the scope of this game was over like
Yeah, like a decade.
decades.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that was the only problem I would say with the second game was that I was like, oh crap, this has been happening for like 10 years now.
Yeah, and the whole thing with that was like even like throughout the course of the Ezio trilogy, by the end of it, well, I guess Revelations was his last game.
Yeah, he was old.
He was like a 65-year-old man,
Yeah.
Mm.
and he was still getting around better than I can now. Because I'll be honest, guys, I can't jump off a roof into a hay bale and not get hurt.
Well, who
I
can?
haven't tried. When's the last time you tried, BJ?
That's a fair point. I
Throwing it out there.
I may not have the balls to even try. There, I said it.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I said it. Yeah. I call you screaming in the middle of the night. I tried it. I tried it.
It sucks.
Well, here's,
I see the bottom of my foot.
well, here's the thing, though. You may as well, because as I understand it, you already have a donut to use.
Oh, Good transition.
Oh God, I'm sitting on it right now.
You have a donut, BJ? What's that about?
Wait. Before you tell this story, I just want to preface this with because if you remember in the last episode, BJ joined us via satellite from his road trip to New Mexico, and I was given tales of exploration and these damn 20-year-olds that have no stamina and me and this other chick were the only ones that went up the temple or whatever the hell was going on out there. And about how he just these kids today, they don't understand anything. Right. I'm a man. And then about 3 days later, I dropped the kids off with his sister, and she's like, "Ask Beej about the donut." So, what about the donut?
Everything we just talked about was true. These kids are pussies. Now, as it turns out, the older you get, the less your back can handle in terms of road trips. All told, I was sitting in a bus seat for like 40 some odd hours, and I totally destroyed my tailbone. Like, oh, hang on.
You're older than I am, dude. Like,
yeah, no, like I don't know if it was just my seat or what, because I sat in the same seat the whole time, but like, it wasn't too bad when I got home. But like over the course of the next day, my lower back started killing me, and it was like it was my fucking tailbone, man. And why do we still have those things? Like, what is the point of the tailbone? We don't have tails anymore, man.
vestigial.
But yeah, it's fine now. But God Almighty, for like, say I got back on a Sunday, I guess until Wednesday, I would just be sitting there, and it was just like, have any of you guys ever had bruised ribs?
Yes.
It was like that. It was like that.
I think I've even had it cracked.
Yeah, it was like that kind of cold, like punching pain. But it's at my ass, man. It wasn't like my ass, but it was like, at the base of my spine. It sucked. It sucked. Like, the rest of my body was fine. Like, all the stuff that we did out at the canyons, going up and down the cliff walls and stuff, that was fine. I busted out over 10 miles on the first day, and I felt like a freaking champion. The bus ride hurt my tailbone, guys. Like, you throw me in the wilds, I'm a god.
Unless they make you ride a bus.
You lock me on a bus for a couple of days. I'm like, oh, how do the gays do it? Right. But yeah.
Did you call your mom and say, "Mommy, my butt hurts"?
No, it was even better. I went to the pharmacy, and I was like, I went up to the lady up front, and I've known this lady for a while. She works in there, and she was a roadie for the Dead for a few years, so she's a pretty cool person. I was like, you have any of those, like those foam donut things? She was like, yeah, back there on aisle 7 or whatever. And I was like, okay. I went back there. It took me a while to find them. Brought it back up to the front, and as I was checking out, I don't know why, I was like, yeah, I guess I hurt my tailbone sitting on a bus. And she just kind of looked at me, put her hand up, and was like, I don't even need to know. Okay. Like, crap.
No, see.
So we can say that when it comes to buses, BJ is literally butthurt.
Yeah.
See, that's when you should have gotten some other kind of thing to go with it, like some KY or some
chocolate
condoms,
syrup,
chocolate, something like that.
Whipped cream.
Really sold the image.
Fake handcuffs.
a case of Magnums. You got it. It's gonna be one hell of a night.
Tyler, Yeah.
But yeah, like
I'll be back in 2 days.
yeah, no, like if I ever go back out there, I'm damn sure not taking the bus. I'm flying. Screw that. Screw that bus, man.
It sounds like that bus screwed you.
It did.
It does.
It did.
Oh.
Oh, it was so bad. So bad.
DJ has carnal knowledge of a bus.
Well, man, I was trying to have to play it cool the entire time. Like, I was not comfortable on the bus. Like, the seats are
Clearly.
small. There's no shocks on that damn thing. Our bus driver was a psychopath we'd be going along on up a damn mountain, and she would think it's a good idea to text somebody. You're sitting there like, that's a freaking guardrail and a 1,000-foot drop, and she's up there just texting away. Like,
Every time y'all stopped for a pit stop, did she tell him to tell you Lars Marr sent you?
Actually, kinda.
It was a night, just like tonight.
That part freaked me out so much when I was a kid.
Me too.
Large Marr.
I had nightmares.
Yeah,
of
she's
Lars
scary.
His big, those giant eyes and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, now you look at it, it's just this crappy claymation thing.
Right.
I haven't watched it since I was a kid. So
Really?
Just just YouTube that one thing.
Well, that's not even as bad as me. Is like I used to be terrified of the Jabberwocky.
Right.
From Alice Through the Looking Glass.
No,
Dude,
okay.
I'm still to the best of my knowledge, I still am because I have not seen that thing.
You look at it now; it's just a stupid puppet.
Right.
Yeah, like it's not.
But
nothing
then
scary
Now,
about
I
it.
will say I used to be freaked out in Raiders of the Lost Ark when that weird guy's, I don't know what race he was, but he was like Asian and German at once. When his face melted off, that used to freak me out.
And that's
And then I saw it, and
weird
it's
for you.
the I actually made my grandmother leave the theater. Like we made her leave because I was so freaked out by Mama Fratelli.
Really?
Ellen!
Yeah.
Ellen!
Mama Fratelli scared the bejesus out of me when they tried to put Home Dude's hand in the blender.
Oh, yeah.
They tried to put Chunk's hand in the blender.
Chunk's hand, yeah, because he wouldn't talk. Well,
Right.
he was telling him everything, but not what they wanted to hear.
Right. And I made my grandmother I never saw all of Goonies in the theater because Mama Fratelli scared me too much. I just couldn't do it.
I think I did with Mikey at Movie Tavern.
I don't guess I remember that scene at all.
Yeah, because all the rest of the kids went down the fireplace and they were in the Fratellis were interrogating Chunk and they had a blender and they were threatening to put his hand in the blender if he didn't talk, and he starts telling them everything that he's ever done, everything bad he's ever done in his entire life.
We'd be there a while if it was me.
Did anybody see Ghoulies 2?
Ghoulies 2?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. It's been
You remember how the one guy gets killed when he's going to the bathroom?
Yes, I do actually.
That made me scared to take a dump for the next 10 years. I am not kidding.
That I can
That
see that.
movie must suck because it's got a 4.2 out of 10.
It's one of those awesomely bad like B movie.
Oh, Ghoulies 2? Yeah. Oh no, it was crappy.
It's
but
like the in the 80s and 90s there was this whole genre that was basically the horror film version of blaxploitation,
Mm-hmm.
like creature exploitation, I guess.
Kind of like Sleepwalkers, where they were just like cats, and
Yeah,
that was a Stephen King joint, I think.
Yeah.
but you had
Cat's
like
Eye.
critters.
that was still that kind of movie that.
You had
Like,
critters, and you had Puppet Master and Ghoulies and Leprechaun and all these cheesy
Langoliers, yeah.
B movies that were
Well,
all
Langoliers
these
was a
little
made-for-TV bad adaptation. Don't lump it in.
So yeah, that was one of the Ghoulies was one of those, and the cover they were coming out of the toilet on the poster. Yeah,
But I saw that movie when I was like 9. Like, and it wasn't 10 years, but for like the next, it was a number of years, and I was like, I was really scared of going to the bathroom.
Come to
Like,
think
just-
of it, man, the 80s all the way up until like 95 was like a golden age of B horror movies.
It really was.
I
They
used to
really,
watch the hell out of Sci-Fi Channel back then.
yeah, and it's got there's some really good stuff. Like I love the Critters franchise. Critters is great.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
Um,
one where the third one had Leo in it, wasn't it?
I think so. And then of course again the Leprechaun franchise is awesome.
Left in the hood looking to do no good.
Yes, Critters 3 had Leo.
Leo DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
I'll be there.
Well, hold on. Just before you do it, before you go too far with that, just remember this is the same guy who started taking off after he did Growing Pains.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, although we should have seen him coming a while ago, long before that, because he held his own with De Niro in This Boy's Life.
Oh, Leo DiCaprio. John Calvin.
So, Mikey and I have suffered a great loss this week.
It's too soon,
No, we need to talk about it.
We do.
It helps to get it out. It helps to get
I
it
guess.
out.
They're jacked up.
It is. Disney has closed Avalanche Studios, and has gotten out of the game designing and
Well,
game
they're
publishing.
not going to make their own games anymore.
Right. They're no longer going to be producing in-house games, which is the end of Disney Infinity. And
Wait a minute. They're completely out of the video game market.
they're out of the in-house video game market.
So
They're
does
going to
that
stick
mean
to
that-
licensing.
What was once Lucas Games now ceased to be?
Lucasfilm, LucasArts has not been
A thing for a
for a
while.
long time. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but I mean they rolled into the Disney camp.
Yes, and I didn't read the article. I just saw the headline, but it said from 2005 to 2016, Disney bought 10 video game companies and put them out, and then went out, and they all went out of business or something like that. So
Got it.
Disney has kind of screwed the pooch on video game design and marketing and whatnot.
Hmm.
But yeah, so Disney Infinity is going away, and I came across a couple articles. One Mikey actually shared in the chat, and I had left it open to go over it. This is allegedly what Disney was planning for Infinity 4.0. Infinity 1.0, which came in today, by the way, Mikey, and I was right. I now have 2 of those playsets.
Well done.
So yeah, 1.0 was the beginning of it, and it was just Disney. 2.0 introduced Marvel. 3.0 introduced Star Wars, and it was the game to life, or life to game, or whatever they called it, with the tangible DLC, as it were. You had to buy the figures, and you put them on the base and whatnot. Now, I read an article earlier today about things that they were starting to do right and things that they did wrong. And I agreed with a lot of the things that they did wrong. It was too restrictive and it was too closed off. It would have been amazing if you could just use all of these characters whenever and wherever you wanted, but you were restricted to just the playsets. Like, you can use any of the characters in the Toy Box games, but you couldn't use Mr. Incredible on the Pirates of the Caribbean level. You could only use a pair of Pirates of the Caribbean
Character.
and it was very limiting on what you could do. And Marvel kept going the same way because you could only use the characters associated with that playset, like the Guardians of the Galaxy. You could only use the Guardians of the Galaxy on the Guardians of the Galaxy playset, and you could only use Avengers characters on the Avengers playset. And instead of being able to fight who was Loki
Yeah.
instead of being able to fight Loki with Mr. Incredible and Iron Man together fighting Loki, you could only have Avengers characters. It was starting to become more open world, and uh, Star Wars kind of opened that up because you could collect the character tokens and you could use different characters from the different eras in the game. So you could play with Force Awakens characters in Episode 1 or in Clone Wars and vice versa. And so it was starting to open the world back up. And then Battlegrounds was the most recent 3.0 update. It was almost a 3.5 update because it created this open world battle world for Marvel characters. And you could use any Marvel character, and it was this full 3D Smash Brothers kind of melee game. But the plan on the horizon for 4.0, Ninja Theory, which was a one of the companies that was helping them design it, was working on a Star Wars Rogue One playset to come out in the fall to go with the release of Rogue One. Studio Gobo was working on a Moana playset, which
the Hawaiian movie coming out.
right. The Rock is one of the main characters of that one. 2000.
The Rock is like the main character of a lot of things right now.
Right. The Rock
Is he the new Nick Cage? Like he just won't say no.
Right. 2017 would have seen the release of Disney 4.0. Content would have been taken from properties such as Cars 3, Episode 8, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, Coco, which I have no idea what that is.
It's I googled it kind of. It looked like a Mexican type storyline they were doing.
Okay. Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok. They would have dropped the number scheme, which would have made it just Disney Infinity. And there would finally be a Toy Box story mode where you could play an entire story with any character you'd wished.
Which would have been flipping awesome.
Right. Hasbro is even approached and perhaps even working on a deal to help design the figures. But the thing that I find the most interesting was 12-inch figures. Because the Disney Infinity figures are, what, 2-3 inches tall?
Yeah, about that.
There would have been a 12-inch figure for Buzz Lightyear, Elsa, Hulk, Hulkbuster, Jack Skellington, and Darth Vader, priced at $45, and they would have quote acted differently in game, lit up, and had more detail than the regular small figures.
Yeah. And the regular ones normally cost around $15, so it's
right.
You're paying 3 times as much, but
for 3 times the size.
Yeah.
I have said from 1.0, from before Marvel and Star Wars were even considered a thing for Infinity, I have always loved the character design. I love these figures. I had said repeatedly that I would have bought these figures if they weren't $15 a piece just to have them because I love the style, the stylized, cartoony look of these figures. These little figures are gorgeous, and they're collectible and displayable without the playability in the game. I just loved the style that they went with for these little figures, and I am hoping that this causes a bubble burst on Infinity, and I can start picking stuff up for stupid cheap.
Like I was discussing, Best Buy dropped them the other day to $10 for everything, including the new ones, which, again, they normally ran $13 to $15. That's a third of a drop.
So
We'll
yeah. This other article that I wanted to address was in light of the news that it was closing shop. The 10 greatest Disney Infinity figures that we will never get to see. and it's just this author's idea of missed opportunities for Infinity characters. And I'll just go through the list here. Goofy.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Goofy could have been a lot of fun. The one that everyone begged for, Darkwing Duck.
Let's get dangerous.
I would have a room full of Darkwing Duck Infinity figures. In fact, he got the highest votes for an online fan vote, but was last minute ousted by Olaf from Frozen. But Darkwing Duck would have been an amazing Infinity figure.
See, Olaf would have gotten one pretty quick, anyways.
Yeah, Darkwing should have happened. Deadpool.
That wasn't gonna happen. Could have been awesome, but it wasn't gonna happen.
Well, but see, you say that. Deadpool had an episode, or was on an episode of Disney's Ultimate Spider-Man. There was an episode. Disney has a Marvel animated universe now on Disney XD, and season 2, I believe, of Ultimate Spider-Man had an episode with Deadpool in it, and he was voiced by Will Friedle. And it was pretty great, actually. There were a lot of really fun gags. My favorite one was Spider-Man told him to be careful because the place was booby-trapped. And Deadpool goes, you said trapped. So it was Deadpool getting to be Deadpool in a Disney environment, and it worked out really well. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. What was that?
That was me yawning.
Okay, yeah, good. I would agree because he was from Epic Mickey, and I don't understand. He doesn't need no. He sucks. Now this one, Simba. Simba would have been like adult Simba would have been an awesome. Like imagine a Lion King playset. It could have been Timon and Pumbaa and Simba like Timon and Pumbaa could have been on their own figure, like Timon riding on top of Pumbaa.
That would have been
Everybody
awesome.
says I played the hell out of that Sega game when it came out.
Exactly.
That was a fun game.
So you have a 2-pack of a Simba figure and a Timon and Pumbaa figure and a playset, and there you go. Kermit the Frog.
Timon and Pumbaa had their own series on Disney back in the day. They probably
they
had
did.
figures.
They did. The next one they suggest is Kermit the Frog.
There's enough Kermit stuff out there.
R2-D2.
He'd be very useful in a lot of the different games.
Wolverine. Which Wolverine could work. I don't know if you could let Wolverine be Wolverine, much like you really couldn't let Daredevil be Daredevil. But this one I would have paid and played the hell out of is Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. There needs to I need a 100-acre wood playset in my life. It could be a honey pot. Would be the playset, and it would be a 2-pack of Tigger and Pooh and the honey pot playset. And I would never
the
I would never
suicidal
leave the house.
donkey and
Right.
Eeyore.
I'm sorry. Okay, if you had a nail up your ass, wouldn't you be in a bad mood?
Yeah,
yeah.
BJ obviously knows the answer to that one.
Right.
that's right.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
And for Eric, the last
And me.
the last character that they suggest would be Sora from
Kingdom Hearts.
So, I would like to have seen some of the Disney along with Darkwing, I think a Disney animation like the night. Somebody dropped something.
Yeah, my headphones knocked over my change bowl.
Ah,
My headphone
um,
cord, I should say.
I would love to have seen a '90s animated line of Darkwing, um, DuckTales, Chip and Dale, Tailspin, stuff like that. I think that would have been a fun line to go, a fun direction to go with it.
Isn't
Um,
there talk of bringing those series back?
DuckTales is coming back. They are doing a new DuckTales series. I've seen one promotional image from it, and it's kind of hard to gauge anything um, from the one picture. But I mean, it looks updated, like it looks like an updated DuckTales. It is going to be a traditional animation, though. It is not going to be
Oh,
CG
good, good.
like a lot of cartoons today are. It is actually going to be a 2D
Damn
animation,
kids don't understand what a real animation.
right? Um, but as long as they have Gizmo Duck,
Yeah.
my affection for Gizmo Duck is long documented. But that's another Infinity figure I would have exclusively played. Like I would have trashed all of my other figures and just had a Gizmo Duck. Period. Um, Gizmo Duck was great. Gizmo Duck for me predates Iron Man.
Yeah. Oh, he
Like
is. He's Iron Duck. I mean,
Gizmo Duck is my Iron Man, and
the unicycle is kind of.
Blathering blatherskites.
right. I need to learn how to ride a unicycle, and I can cosplay as Gizmo Duck.
That's just got bad written all over it. I mean, that's
No. This is
someone.
epic. Bring a
Someone's
camera.
getting hurt. Someone's getting hurt. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I have.
Whether it's Chris or not,
Yeah.
remains to be seen. But someone is going to get hurt.
I have a unicycle in the garage.
Yeah, and then Gizmo faces his biggest foe ever, the staircase.
Now, I do have a question about this. Has
Okay.
Disney left the door open for somebody else to take over the reins and publish it, like to just use, like for them to give them Disney to sell the rights, kind of like a similar thing like what they've done with Kingdom Hearts, where they've given the rights to Square for using
Well,
their.
that's what Disney is going to exclusively be doing now. Is they will no longer be publishing their own video games. Any Disney-related video game will be published by a third-party game developer like Square or EA or
Because
whatever.
I'm just wondering if somebody's going to want it, because obviously Infinity does sell, so I can't imagine that
We'll
there
see.
wouldn't be a developer who wouldn't be willing to take it.
You say that, but they said it was cost prohibitive, and that's why they are shutting down production. Is it was cost prohibitive, and they apparently were not making any money, which I don't understand that because it looks like it's just a cash cow.
Yeah.
Well, Disney isn't really known for being big in the gaming industry either. I mean,
Well, not
15 years
for
15 years ago they could make their own games and it would be fine because we were still in a 64-bit world, but now we have companies who are dedicated solely towards the production of games. So I mean, they may just have never changed with the times.
and you
They
may want to
don't
go
have the
back 20
infrastructure.
years because you go back 15 and you're still
In the
PS2.
2000s, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they may just not have had the infrastructure to properly do. Now, marketing-wise, you're not going to beat Disney in marketing.
Oh
But
no,
when it comes to the actual production of a game, they may not have it in them, because and like I said, contracts are probably going to go with EA and stuff like that, and it's widely regarded that EA is the devil. So
I don't know.
that should work fine with Disney.
Since
Yeah.
Disney already has a relationship with Square, I wouldn't see.
Okay.
I wouldn't see why they wouldn't have why they wouldn't let Square have first rights.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I've got up a list here of Disney video
Franchises.
games,
Okay.
Disney video games, and they're in a weird category. They're categorized by like the main character.
Mm.
Um, so games that take place at the park. Yeah, you've got Adventures in the Magic Kingdom, and that was developed
NES.
for the NES, developed by
Yep.
Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
You've
Capcom.
got
God.
Bandai Namco developed 2 3DS games, Disney Magical World and Disney Magical World 2. Those are some standouts from that one.
Are
Then
they even alive Are they even alive anymore?
what?
Any of the companies you've named so far?
Well, no. Capcom still.
Bandai Namco is.
Is it?
See, that's what I was asking about.
Yeah, no, they're very much alive. The next category is Donald Duck games. It's games based around Donald Duck, DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, and other duck properties. Capcom did a DuckTales and a Darkwing Duck game, both for the NES.
I played DuckTales. I remember that.
Capcom did DuckTales 2. Then it looks like there were some mobile games. That's really the standouts. I mean, there was Sega of Japan did a Game Gear game of Deep Duck Trouble starring Donald Duck.
Well, who did Aladdin and?
Sounds very Japanese.
I'm getting there. Okay, now now we're on to goofy games. The Matterhorn Screamer. I had this game. It was a DOS-based game back
Nice.
in the late '80s. I loved it. It was cheesy graphics, but I played the hell out of it. Now, Capcom developed a Goof Troop game for the Super Nintendo.
I got it.
So looks like they've got they had a working relationship with Capcom for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there were a series of Kim Possible games from a developer called A2M.
Ass to mouth.
That's what I'm like. There's only one A2M that I'm familiar with. I mean,
it's impossible to go A2M.
right?
Oh, I can't wait
typed
for
in
the 20...
A2M and the first thing that popped up was Behavior Interactive.
Yeah, it's Behavior
Did we-
Interactive.
Right.
I hate to go off
Because
topic for a second, but
Going
did we
ass to mouth is a behavior that's very interactive.
Did we talk about the Memorial Day marathon yet?
No, but we can.
Yeah, we'll get there.
talk
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, because this'll drop right before then, so that'll be good to close out the show. Of course, Square Enix did all the Kingdom Hearts games. Mickey Mouse based games.
Good gravy boats.
They're all over the place. I mean,
Uh.
everybody's had their hand in a Mickey game. Mickey gets around. Electronically kind of slutty. I mean, hell, Rare made a Mickey Mouse game for the N64. The same people that made Conker's Bad Fur Day made a Mickey Mouse game.
They made Battletoads as well. So
And you got Epic Mickey was made by Junction Point Studios. That was a fun.
Hang on. I was reading Behavior Interactive's history here.
Oh
And
god.
they did intentionally change the name from its original name, quote, partly due to the obscene meaning of the word A2M. So they get it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Somebody in marketing went, oh, right. We probably need to do something about that.
Now, was this around the time that Clerks 2 came out?
This was 2010. They should have known by then.
Clerks 2 was 2006. So yeah, no, they had plenty of.
Yeah. There were a lot of Disney princess games, but
Is there any about
There's-
Jasmine? I love me some Jasmine.
there's not a clear developer on those. Capcom made a Who Framed Roger Rabbit game.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I remember that for the Nintendo.
Yep.
Now-
Rareware did that one.
That game was
yes.
tough as crap. I never could beat it.
Virgin Interactive made the Lion King game that we previously mentioned.
Love. Yeah.
Fun game. Except that,
was,
man, that was so difficult, that one scene where you're trying to dodge the buffalo.
The wildebeests.
Wildebeest? God,
Yeah.
that took me forever.
Yeah.
That wasn't the only part of that game I had a hard time with was beating Scar. That was the only thing I could never do in that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Traveler's Tales developed a lot of Toy Story based games. The now defunct Avalanche Software did the game for Toy Story 3 though. There were a bunch of Tron games that Mattel helped make, and then Disney Interactive Studios, which I remember Disney Interactive Studios as a developer. They made Tron Legacy, and I'm wondering if Tron Runner is going to come out now.
Let's not talk about Tron, please.
Okay.
I just
Fair enough.
the second the new wave of Tron just really disappointed me. So.
Konami did a whole bunch of DDR Disney games. Konami did a bunch of Disney sports games.
For Game Boy Advance.
Early 2000.
Let's look.
What is Konami still around? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well...
No
they've been reorganized.
real standouts in the Winnie the Pooh genre. And now we're into miscellaneous Disney games. Sierra Online made some games.
Yes,
back in
Konami is still around.
the late 80s. That Aladdin game.
Oh, of course they are.
Yeah, Metal Gear, I mean...
Metal Gear.
They're not going to be around much longer. They fired Hideo Kojima. What the hell?
And he's already working on a new game that he says is going to be kind of a mix of Uncharted and something else, but I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what Konami's up to, but the man who made that company is now gone, so their days are numbered, in my opinion.
Virgin Interactive made that Aladdin game that we all loved.
That was such a good game.
That was.
I have it.
Left up, right, up, left, right, left, up. God mode.
Right. And then, they've worked with every developer on the planet. It seems like.
Yeah.
So they're just getting out of the Disney, the game design. Okay then.
Who's cat?
My cat says
At least
hello.
it wasn't bagpipes.
Right. That was still the best thing that's ever happened.
Cops are down, man.
So yeah, we can talk about the Memorial Day. I'll pull up unless somebody else already has it up. Disney is celebrating the release of its 100th original movie, the 100th Disney original movie, and they are celebrating.
Here it is, starting May 27th at 10 a.m.
I can't talk and Google at the same time, so
Yeah.
they are celebrating the release of their 100th Disney original movie with a marathon all weekend, Memorial Day weekend, of Disney original movies. So, Mikey, lay it on us. Let's just go down the list.
Okay, hold up.
I've got it. Kim Possible movie, So the Drama.
Okay.
Read It and Weep.
Yeah.
Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior.
Heck yeah.
Jump In. Lemonade Mouth.
Jump in.
Hold on. Jump In.
Lemonade.
Wait. Jump In. Is that the one with Corbin Bleu in the
Yes, I think so.
Jump Rope movie? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Lemonade Mouth. Zapped. Unfortunately, not the Scott Baio, Willie Ames movie of the 80s, but a different movie with Zendaya.
Yeah, I would have. I've seen both, and I prefer the Scott Baio version.
High School Musical 2, The Cheetah Girls 2, Xenon the Sequel, Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge, Twitches 2, and then Friday wraps up at 4:25 a.m. with Alley Cat Strike. Mikey, do you want to take Saturday?
Yeah, but hold up. I want to make notice. All of these part twos, just.
Oh yeah. No, we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been
All
discussed.
Saturday, starting at 6:25, you can watch You Wish, followed by The Proud Family Movie.
Wait. You Wish, was that the Katherine Heigl movie where she and her sister switch places?
It might be.
I don't know.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, this is a 2003.
No, Alex is a high school student who always feels like he is overshadowed by his little brother Stevie. He can't get the girl of his dreams. He has two best friends, Abby and James, are outsiders at school, and he is constantly benched on his football team. Then Stevie receives a lucky coin from a strange old man, a coin which he gives to Alex, telling him to make a wish.
Always
next
take
day-
money from strange old men.
That's right.
The next day, Alex gets everything he ever wished for. Stevie is gone. In fact, he is the star of his own TV show, and his family don't even know him. Alex dates the most popular girl at school. He is one of the most popular kids himself, and he is the star of the football team. At first, he enjoys his new life, only to later find out that everything that was great in his original life is now gone.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Sad day.
Yeah. So, all right. So You Wish, followed by The Proud Family Movie,
Okay.
followed by Quince, which I assume is a movie about four babies. Yeah. Followed by Horse Sense, then Cowbells,
Yeah.
Twitches, the Even Stevens movie.
Back before Shia LaBeouf went crazy.
That's right.
Right.
Wizard, but his motivational speeches are so motivating.
Actually, we can discuss Shia LaBeouf at another time, because I think he might be brilliant.
Yeah. So after Ian Stevens, you can watch Wizards of Waverly Place, the movie. Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. The Princess Protection Program. The Cheetah Girls, One World. Xenon Z3. Halloween High, so now we're getting to 2:40 a.m. And then at 4:20 a.m., technically Sunday morning, we will be watching The 13th Year.
Which, incidentally, the 13th year is when people usually start celebrating 420. Now, on to Sunday, May 29th, at 6 a.m., we have Right on Track, followed by Full Court Miracle, followed by Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off, because that's a thing, followed by Brink.
Yes,
because it's
that's an epic movie.
and followed by... And for some reason, right after Brink, we have Double Teamed, but it's probably not the one you're thinking of because it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon on the Disney Channel. Followed by
Double
Rip
Teamed
Girls.
is a good movie. Hold on, wait. Double Teamed is a good movie.
Yeah.
Hold on. I do have to laugh about the
That's an odd placement.
Yeah.
Double Teamed and Rip Girls.
Yeah, right afterwards is Ripped Girls. Interesting choice there, Disney Channel. We get it. You put sex in your movies. 4:35 p.m. we have Motocross, followed by Cloud
That was a good
9.
That was good.
Yeah.
Motocross, hot chick.
Another
Yep.
sexy one coming up with Teen Beach 2, followed by Bad Hair Day, which usually happens after you get Rip Girls. How to Build a Better Boy. Interesting choice there, Disney, because you're making me into a man today. Followed by Pixel Perfect, for all you porno lovers online. The Other Me, also a porno lover online. And at 4:30 a.m. we have Genius. Chris, take Monday.
And we have a 6-hour break.
I don't have the list.
Okay,
Oh,
on
dear
Monday,
God.
May 30th.
I'm sorry, y'all were reading it. I didn't think I needed the list.
Okay, so we've had 3 straight days of movies, and then we get a 6-hour break so that people can sleep for just a little while. Because starting at 10 a.m., we have Stuck in the Suburbs. At 11:30, Halloween Town. Then we have Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century. Then Smart House, featuring everybody's favorite TV mom, Pamela Segal.
That's right.
Then High School Musical, followed by Camp Rock. Then Descendants.
That's
Teen
an
Beach
inappropriate.
Movie.
Descendants? That
No, it's a different one.
No, it's a-
about
not
to say
the,
it's a downer to be having on the Disney. All right.
not the George Clooney movie.
Okay.
Teen Beach Movie, Cadet Kelly, Cheetah Girls, and then we end it with the ultimate in bad guy families with Shao Kahn and Asian Johnny in Johnny Tsunami.
It's epic.
That is
So-
a hell of a lineup.
I'm gonna open my house up at 11:20 on Sunday, May 29th for a too nerdy viewing of Brink.
It'd be epic. Can I ask? I know we all know so much about Disney. Why are all the originals on the very last day?
I don't know. I was gonna ask about that too because
Because that's the day that parents might have to work, and the kids who've actually watched most of these movies, like the most recent ones, are younger, so they'll be home to watch them. That's my theory.
Yeah, I don't know, but man,
But
they
with DVR, it doesn't really matter.
got some really interesting names. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, Alley Cat Strike, Kim Possible, definitely Brink, Eddie's $1 Million Cook-Off. Pretty much all day Sunday, I'll just not go. I'll be watching Disney Channel.
See, all day Sunday, I'm going to be at my daughter's dance recital because
same.
that is a all-day event, and it's ridiculous because people get in fist fights and get arrested trying to get seats.
Oh my God.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that happens. So enjoy your Memorial Day, folks, with a 4-day marathon of the best that Disney has to offer for Disney Channel original movies, even if their schedule is all weird and backwards.
Yeah.
But Monday's a good. When was Brink on Sunday?
On Sunday.
Yeah, like Brink and Double Teamed and Motocrossed were both good.
Yeah,
Those are some good ones.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. On Sunday, I may not I may just get up at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. because I'm assuming this is actually Eastern time. Yes, it is Eastern time. So get up at 5 a.m. and just actually no, I'll probably start at 7:45 with Full Court Miracle that tells the story of Hanukkah through basketball.
I prefer the story of Hanukkah told to the Rugrats.
8 Crazy Nights.
Yeah.
I prefer it
I enjoy
actually
that
told
one.
as told by the Hanukkah Armadillo.
Right?
Well
Hanukkah
done.
Armadillo.
Now they're saying that's all the movies Disney Channel has
No,
made.
that's
No.
just 50.
I
That's
was
like
about
their
to say because I was trying to
they're saying
Luck
it's
of
like
the
their
Irish.
best 50.
like not
Well,
quite
I
human.
wish they had Luck
you
of the
know?
Irish.
Yeah, Luck of the Irish isn't on there, and
Okay.
the one where Katherine Heigl and her sister switch places isn't on there. 13th Year, I believe that's the one where he turns into a mermaid.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
And I think it's the same kid from Luck of the Irish.
I think it is too.
Yeah. So here's a little bit more.
Ryan Merriman, I believe his name is.
Yeah. So here's the little blurb before it that we didn't probably even look at. It says that's Disney's 51 most popular shows, but they will continue to screen the rest of their original movies throughout the month of June.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, well then good, because we can get Luck of
yeah,
the Irish then.
Yeah, if your
Yeah.
favorite Disney Channel movie is not being shown on the marathon, then just keep an eye out on your cable or satellite guide.
Wish
That you're
Upon
in
a
a
Star
place.
is the one you're thinking of, Chris.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
'cause I mean,
they
like-
were both hot.
With
Yeah, they
Katherine
were.
Heigl and Danielle Harris.
Yeah, Daniel Harris, who we were introduced to as a little kid in Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and then in the Rob Zombie, in the Rob Zombie remake. See, Thomas iZombie, see, there was a connection.
I see what you did there. Yeah.
In the Rob Zombie Halloween remake, she was in it, and she wasn't a little girl anymore because we saw her boobies.
God damn, no, she's not. I just pulled it up and See No Evil 2 is like some promo pics, and she's wearing like a little leather get up with some gloves, and
Yeah.
She's got nice eyes.
She was
So-
TK on Boy Meets World.
She
Yes,
kind of
she
has
was.
she kind of has a Sasha Grey thing going on.
When she was younger, I kind of thought she was Marla Sokoloff.
Okay, I can see that.
Hey, did y'all hear about Icebox and what she did when she got older?
I was just about to bring that up. I thought that was a good way to close out the show.
Is it anything like what the one sister from Family Matters did? The one who disappeared for years?
I don't know, but
She became an adult film star.
Really?
well, so Shauna Waldron played Becky the Icebox O'Shea in a little film.
Little Giants.
Little Giants. So
Oh.
I'm just gonna
She's,
leave you with this.
ooh.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're just gonna leave you with this. This is how we're gonna end the show. Go look up Shauna Waldron. Shauna is spelled SHAWNA. Shauna Waldron, Poison Ivy. You're welcome.